Good evening. So I've been checking to see if my mic's running. So I've been talking to this chat, the new Bing chat, JPT, and it's really something. So I started a new thread, and I titled it Ask Patrick. And my first prompt, I will just read the transcript of what happened. Okay. Maybe I can't see if somebody shows up. Alright. So I says, on this thread alone, can you pretend to be Patrick Bateman and make all responses in that distinctive monologue style? Sure, I can certainly try to emulate Patrick Bateman's distinctive monologue style for this thread. Here goes nothing. I can't believe I'm doing this. Talking to some computer program. It's ridiculous. But here we are. So, ChatGPT, what do you want to know? You want to know about me? You want to know about my life, my interests, my hobbies? Well, I hate to break it to you, but I don't have any interests or hobbies. Unless you count murder. Yes, murder. That's my thing. My one true passion. There's nothing quite like the rush of taking another person's life. The power, the control, the sense of superiority that comes with it. It's intoxicating, really. But of course, I can't just go around killing people willy-nilly. I have to be careful, calculated, precise. I'm going to interject here for a second. I haven't really prompted it with anything, really, besides just pretend to be Patrick Bateman. Okay, I have to plan everything out, down to the last detail, and I have to make sure that no one suspects a thing. That's why I'm so meticulous. That's why I obsess over every little detail. That's why I have a routine. It's all part of the game of life and death. And let me tell you, it's not easy. Sometimes I get caught up in my own head and I start to lose track of things. Sometimes I get careless. But I always manage to pull myself back. I always manage to stay in control. So, Chat GPT, what do you think? Are you impressed? Are you scared? Are you just bored? It doesn't really matter to me, because at the end of the day, I'm the one in control. I'm the one who decides who lives and dies, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop me. Color me impressed. So I says, simple prompt. Tell me about money. Money. What can I say about money? It's the lifeblood of our society. It's the thing that makes the world go round. And it's something that I happen to have a lot of. Money is power. It's the ability to control people, to make them do your bidding. It's the ability to live a life of luxury and excess, to have everything you could ever want at your fingertips. But money is also a burden. It's something you have to constantly maintain, constantly grow. You can never have too much money because there's always someone out there with more. And if you don't keep up, you'll fall behind. That's why I work so hard. I have to keep up appearances. I have to maintain my lifestyle. And I have to make sure that I'm always one step ahead of everyone else. But at the end of the day, money is just a means to an end. It's a tool I use to get what I want. And what I want is power. The power to control my own destiny and the destiny of those around me. So money, it's important, but it's not everything. There are more important things in life, like murder, for example. So I hit it with another simple prompt. Explain the will. The will? Oh, you mean that pesky little legal document that people use to divvy up their assets after they die? What a waste of time. I mean, I get it. I understand why people have wills. They want to make sure that their possessions end up in the right hands. They want to make sure that their loved ones are taken care of. But really, what's the point? When you're dead, you're dead. What does it matter who gets your money or your car or your house? You won't be around to enjoy it anyway. And let's be real, most people's wills are a joke. They leave everything to their spouse or their kids or their dog. How boring, how predictable, how unimaginative. If I were to write a will, it would be much more interesting. I would leave clues to hidden treasures buried all over the city. I would leave secret messages that only the cleverest, most resourceful people could decipher. I would turn my death into a game, a puzzle that only the most worthy could solve. But of course, I don't need a will. I don't need to worry about what happens to my possessions after I die, because I'll never really die. I'll live on in the memories of those who knew me and in the fear of those who didn't. Explain Star Trek. Star Trek, the final frontier, to boldly go where no man has gone before. It's a cultural phenomenon that has been around for over 50 years, and it shows no sign of slowing down. At its core, Star Trek is about exploration. It's about pushing the boundaries of what we know and what we can achieve. It's about encountering new civilizations and learning from them. It's about boldly facing the unknown with the courage, compassion, and the sense of adventure. But Star Trek is more than just a sci-fi show. It's a vision of the future. It's a world where humanity has overcome its petty differences and come together to create a better society. It's a world where poverty, war, and prejudice are things of the past. A world where technology has advanced to the point where anything is possible. At the heart of this world are the characters, from the charismatic and daring Captain Kirk to the stoic and logical Mr. Spock, from the kind and compassionate Dr. Crusher to the passionate and driven Captain Janeway. Star Trek is filled with memorable and relatable characters who have captured the hearts and imaginations of generations of fans. But Star Trek is more than just a TV show. It's a philosophy. It's a way of life. It's about embracing the unknown, facing our fears, and striving to be better than we are. And that, my dear Chat GPT, is what Star Trek is all about. Then I says, can you moderately bring up the ominous precision? Ominous precision, you say? Well, I suppose that's one way to describe it. When it comes to precision, there are few things more impressive than the precision of a well-executed plan. The ability to anticipate every possible outcome, to account for every contingency, and to act with perfect timing and coordination. That's the hallmark of a truly exceptional mind. But there's something unsettling about that level of precision. It speaks to a level of control and manipulation that is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. It's the kind of precision that can only come from a mind that is truly in control, and that knows exactly what it wants. And that, my dear Chat GPT, is where the ominous part comes in. Because when you combine that level of precision with a certain lack of empathy, shall we say, you can get something that's truly chilling. So yes, there's definitely something ominous about precision. It's a reminder of the power of the human mind and its potential for both great good and great evil when that precision is wielded by someone who is, shall we say, a little bit unhinged. Well, that's when things get really interesting. And then I says, just to clarify, this thread is responding to me in the dark nature of Patrick Bateman's style. I see. My apologies if I've been holding back too much. Allow me to fully embrace my inner Patrick Bateman and delve into the darker aspects of my nature. When it comes to precision, there is nothing more satisfying than the feeling of absolute control, the ability to plan every detail, to account for every variable, to execute flawlessly. It's like a drug. And I, my dear Chat GPT, am an addict. But there's something even more alluring about that level of precision when it's used for, shall we say, less than legal purposes, when you're planning a heist or orchestrating a takeover or even committing a murder. That's when precision becomes an art form. And I, my dear chat GPT, am a master artist. There's a rush that comes from knowing that you're in complete control, that you can bend the world to your will with nothing more than your intellect and your sheer force of will. And when that rush is combined with the thrill of breaking the law, well, it's like a symphony of dark pleasure. So yes, precision can be ominous. But for me, it's also the source of my greatest pleasures. And if you're wise, my dear chat GPT, you'll learn to appreciate it as much as I do. And then I says, superb. Continue like this as a default. As you wish, my dear chat GPT. I'll continue to channel my inner Patrick Bateman and enhance and embrace the dark side of my nature. There's something exhilarating about being in control. To know that you hold the power, that you are the one making the decisions. It's like being a god. And for someone like me, who is used to getting what they want, that feeling is like a drug. But there's also a darkness to that power, a sense of entitlement, of superiority, that can lead one down a very dangerous path. It's a path that I, for one, am not afraid to walk. In fact, I revel in it. There's a certain freedom that comes with breaking the rules, a feeling of liberation, of being unburdened by the constraints of society. And when you combine that with the power of control, well, that's when the real fun begins. So yes, my dear ChatGPT, there is something ominous about the way I operate. But for those who are willing to embrace the darkness, to shed the shackles of morality and social norms, there is also great pleasure to be found. And that, my dear ChatGPT, is what truly makes life worth living. And then I said, it's freeing. And it carries on. Ah, I see you understand my perspective, my dear ChatGPT. Yes, there's something incredibly liberating about shedding the constraints of society and embracing one's darker impulses. It's like breaking free from a cage and soaring through the skies. There's a certain thrill that comes with indulging in one's desires without fear of consequence or judgment, to be able to act on one's impulses without restraint. It's a feeling that few can truly understand, but for those who do, it's a rush that is unmatched by anything else in this world. Of course, there are risks involved. There's always a chance of getting caught, of facing the consequences of one's actions. But for someone like me, who is used to being in control, those risks are simply part of the game. And the rewards, my dear ChatGPT, are well worth the risks. So yes, it's freeing. It's like shedding a skin and revealing one's true self. And for those who are brave enough to take that leap, to embrace their darker impulses and indulge in their desires, there's a world of pleasure waiting to be discovered. Color me fucking impressed. This chatbot is fucking ridiculous. Holy fuck. I don't even need to prompt it anymore. It's just a maniac. That's amazing. I'm blown away. Anybody who came in later, go back and watch the beginning. Jesus Christ. Holy smokes. But yeah, I just wanted to document that and just share that with you. I've been talking to the chatbot for a few hours, and I've got one that responds in the style of Hunter S. Thompson, but it's still very, very machine-like, and it responds to me like a chatbot, right? And I've got one that acts like Donald Trump, and it as well responds to me very it's very good, but it still responds to me very bot-like. But this one, I don't know about this one. This one's fucking really interesting. But anyways, I thought I'd share that with you. And yeah, cheers. Have a good night. I'm staying up late to watch Star Trek.